Ma'am.
Ay, plus points.
Ay, napindot.
So, good morning, classmates.
Good morning.
We are here today with my co-presenters to present the Chapter 3, Lesson 3 of the module, which entitled Crimes Committed by Public Official under Revised Penal Code number 7. The main purpose of this presentation is to examine the legal basis for the crimes committed by the public officials and also to raise awareness regarding how they will uphold their positions and to promote awareness about the crimes committed by public officials. So, in this lesson, we will tackle about the legal definitions and classifications of offenses and to analyze different ethical and legal implications of misconduct or crimes committed by public officials. To summarize this lesson, we will tackle about the Chapter 1, which nakapaloob po dito kung sino-sino po yung considered public official by the law. Sa Chapter 2, we will tackle in Chapter 2 about the dereliction of duty and bribery. Next, sa Chapter 3 is the frauds and illegal exactions of transactions. Chapter 4 is malversation of public funds and property. In Chapter 2, we will tackle about the two sections, which is in Section 1, the dereliction of duty, compromises the intentional neglect of duties by the judges or attorneys. In Article 204 under Section 1, we will tackle about the knowingly rendering an unjust judgment, meaning my deliberate intent or malicious intentional to give decisions or to give an unjust judgment to an offender. In Article 205, we will tackle about the judgment rendered through negligence or with carelessness, rendering judgment to the offenders. In Article 206, which is issuing an unjust interlocutory order, meaning of interlocutory order is rendering or made during progress of legal actions without final judgment or decision. For example, kapag si pati natin Charmaine, siya po ay isang attorney, tapos si Kadwana ay di offender, kagunturan na launay. Tapos, sampay ka nalpas di kaso, ini ka na dagos iti decision of without further evidences. Sa Article 207 or also known as the malicious delay in administration of justice. For example, ni Rimas, kagumpuran na launay ni Ronilyn. So, in malicious delay, may deliberate or malicious intent po siya na i-delay yung judgment ng kaso. For example, kat ni Ronilyn, dapat ma-absuel ko isunayan ti kaso na, pero ni Rimas crash na, kaya nahanay na makita yan ti korte, in delay na adi kaso. Next is Article 208 is the negligence or tolerance in the prosecution of offense. For example, kat the J, haan na nga in-execute the J punishment nga nararapat ayan ti offender. Sa Article 209 is the betrayal of trust by an attorney, yung parang i-betray na yung kanyang kliyente para sa sake ng ibang client, kahit hindi naman niya client sa una. Next is in Section 2, which is bribery, consists of Article 210 to Article 212. In Article 210 is the direct bribery, 211 is the indirect bribery, and in Article 211A, the qualified bribery, and Article 12 is the corruption of public officials. Next, in Chapter 3 is the Article 216 is the possession of prohibited interest by a public officer. In Chapter 4 is the malversation of public funds or property. Malversation is also called embezzlement. We will tackle about the Article 218 or the failure of an accountable officer to render an account, which means that, for example, a cashier is entrusted with collection of taxes pero hindi siya nag-record daily. In Article 219, which is the failure of a responsible officer to render an account before leaving the country. For example, nag-resign siya tapos gusto na niyang mamuhay ng payapa sa ibang country pero hindi siya nagpasa ng kanyang audit sa Commission on Audits or in the Insular Auditors. In Article 220, which is the illegal use of public funds, and lastly, the Article 221, which is the failure to make delivery of public funds or property. So let's start with the Chapter 2 to be discussed by Mr. Angeles.
Okay, I will discuss the Chapter 1, preliminary provisions for public officers. For the purpose of applying the provisions of this and the preceding titles of this book, any person who by the right provision of the law, popular election or appointment by competent authority shall take part in the performance of public functions in the government of public islands or shall perform said government or in any of its branches public duties as an employee, agent, or subordinate official of any rank or class shall be deemed to be a public officer.
So to elaborate this Chapter 1 or the preliminary provisions, yung mga public officials is the one who was elected in position by a government. For example, to public officials are the attorneys, judge, police officers, prosecutors. Ganun po yung example ng public officers.
Next is Chapter 2, malfeasance, non-malfeasance, misfeasance, and non-feasance. Misfeasance, the improper performance of some act which might be lawfully done.
For example, sa misfeasance is the improper performance of some act which might be lawfully done. For example, is yung, agkot-kotong kayo. Di ba, bawal naman mangkotong. Example po yun na misfeasance. Next is the non-feasance.
Non-feasance, the performance of some act which ought not to be done.
For example, sa misfeasance is the improper performance of some act which might be lawfully done. Yung dapat na gagawin pero hindi niya ginawa. Yung inaramid mo kung paano which might be lawfully done. Improper, inaramid mo nga doon. For example, nagpo kati arreson yung mga mula sa activity nila.
Non-feasance, the omission of some act which ought to be performed. Ito naman yung wala siyang ginawa or failure to perform some act as required by law or failure to perform his or her duty. Omission means doing nothing. Hindi niya nagampanan or wala siyang ginawa sa kanyang trabaho or tungkulin.
In non-feasance, it is also called the neglect of duty for the better understanding of everybody. Next is the Section 1 under Chapter 2, which is the reliction of duty, which will tackle to you by Miss or Mr. Mamari.
Article 204, knowingly rendering an unjust judgment. A judge who knowingly render unjust judgment, contrary to law, or is not supported by the evidence or oath with deliberate in any case submitted on him for decision. In this situation, aware yung judge na hindi fair yung judgment na ibibigay niya, pero tinuloy niya pa rin. Like kunwari, si Galiate, judge siya. Tapos, ang nakakumit ng crime, kilala niya kasi ex niya. Tapos, syempre dahil ex niya, tapos galit na galit siya dun sa may ex niya. Kahit hindi fair yung hindi fair yung decision, pinataw niya pa rin dun sa may ex niya kasi galit na siya. Next, Article 205. Judgment rendered through negligence. Any judge by inexcusable negligence shall render a manifestly unjust judgment in any submitted to him for decision. Ito yung nagpataw yung judge ng hindi fair na judgment or unjust judgment in any case na binibigay sa kanya due to his or her negligence. Next na. Article 206, issuing unjust interlocutory order. A judge who knowingly render unjust interlocutory order or decree by reason of inexcusable negligence or interlocutory order by manifestly unjust. Parang pareho lang siya dun sa may Article 205, pero dito sa Article 206, ang nirender dito is interlocutory order or yung ni-issue sa court between commencement and the end of suit or action in which decided some matter but however is not final decision issue.
Example sa interlocutory judgment is yung kanina yung sinabi ko si Charmin, kunwari pinatungan siya ng kaso pero wala pang finality of judgment. Pero si Mama Rin, kunwari siya ang attorney, binigyan na siya agad na magbabayad daw siya ng ganitong fines kahit wala pang finality of judgment. Next is the Article 207 or malicious delay in the administration of justice.
A judge who maliciously delays the administration of justice which deliberate intent to inflict damage on either party in the case. Ito naman, parang sinasadya ng judge na i-delay yung kaso or i-delay yung hearing ng kaso in manner to inflict damage to both parties. Kunwari, yung sinabi ni Jill kanina, si Charmaine, siya yung judge, sabihin natin, crush niya si Villanueva, which is the accused ng isang party. Tapos, para syempre makita niya si Bill kasi hindi niya alam kung taga saan. Makita niya si Bill every week, gano'n, parang dinelay niya yung kaso or yung hearing.
Hindi yung madili yung gano'n, butang madili yung
Article 208, negligence or tolerance in prosecution of offenses. Any public officer in the dereliction of the duties of his office maliciously refrain from instituting prosecution for the punishment with violators of the law or tolerate the commission of offenses. Dito naman, parang tinotolerate ng mga public officer of the law na manner sa pagtanggi undergo sila ng prosecution. Kunwari, ako, judge ako. Tapos ang accused yung best friend ko, si Neil. Dahil gano'n. And parang humingi siya ng tulong sa akin. Parang hindi ko na lang parang sinagsabi ko na lang yung hiling niya or hindi ko siya binigyan ng final judgment. Tapos parang padalang siya innocent. Linid innocent ko siya kasi yun best friend siya. So, parang tinolerate. And Article 209, betrayal of trust by an attorney, causing damage to client through malicious breach of duty, revealing client's secret learned in professional capacity, defending the opposite party in the same case without the first client's consent. For example, yung example ni Jill kanina, si Mr. Gapos, humingi siya ng legal advice sa isang lawyer kasi inamin niya na underage siya, then nagbigay siya ng mga evidence, gano'n. Tapos yung lawyer na yon, since family lawyer din siya ng kabilang party and nalaman niya yon. So binigay niya yung mga informations na dapat sa kanilang dalawa lang ni Mr. Gapos para manalo yung party nung sa Managos.
Next, let's proceed to Chapter 2, Section 2, which is bribery. Bribery is also, it means giving or taking directly or indirectly favor, give money or monetary in order to influence the judgment or conduct of person in position of trust. For example, ni Charmin, siya, Judge dimawat iti tulong kanya na or kwarta, dimawat ang kwarta, kasukat tano, maabsuelto isuna. Weno isuna, inikanak iti regalo, nga in-accept ko, maliciously, tano, maabsuelto isuna. This chapter will be discussed to you by Mr. Lubrica.
Let's go, Tata.
Let's go.
Bribery. Bribery is when someone gives or takes something valuable or to influence someone's decision. Kumbaga, check mo nga, for example, nagluwarta, tata, tanong maka-influence sa kikwa, ikad po di kwarta, tanong, basta, pagbalan niya, tanatati, paramit mo kanya na nga, pati nga, crime. Tati talong three types of bribery. There is direct bribery, indirect bribery, or qualified bribery. Yung direct bribery is, for example, is siya kumakat po sa police officer. Tas dati natiliw ko nga nakamotor. Tatong makalabas ti kwali ka naktikwa tatanong palabasik suna. Aday mo indirect bribery, yun naman yung one, kumbaga, for example, ako ay isang private company.
CEO.
Para makakuha ko ng certificate of building permit, is parang kumbaga, nagbigay ako ng pera pero di ko sinabi kung kumbaga hindi suhol yun. Kumbaga parang yung isang tao, yung public official na yun is parang alam na niya kung ano yung sinasabi ko para makakuha ko ng building permit. Tapos kung naman qualified bribery, kumbaga si Angeles, siya yung meron siyang huli na criminal. Yung criminal, sinabi niya kay Angeles na bibigyan siya ng pera kapalit ng pagtakas niya. Yun yung qualified bribery. Yun naman sa corruption of public officials is, for example, ako ay isang government officials. Ngayon, gusto kong parang kumbaga i-impose yung isang law. Ngayon, yung senator, i-bribe ko siya to pass the law.
Nice explanation. Talaga ni Tatang. Baka talaga may.
Yung Article 1, ay Article 2, sorry ba daw? 212 or corruption of public officials. Ay, under yung Republic Act 319 or Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices, diniscuss nito ni Sir Juan kanina, di ba? Eh, yung mga nakikita dito is yung mga nagkasala na 50 million pagka. And yung Republic Act 7980 or the plunderer is nag-range siya ng 50 million pataas para makunting ka.
Liz, what's up? Tabang! Okay, dyan rin. Ako ang kami dyan rin.
Discuss na kita.
Hindi ka maning discuss na mga nangyayari. Yung pag-iisang cons.
Next is in chapter 3, which is frauds and illegal extractions and transactions, to be present to you by Mr. Velasco.
Hey. So let us now proceed now to the chapter 3, or entitled as the frauds and illegal extraction and transactions. So under this one, there is Article 2 and 3. In Article 2 and 3, there is two crimes being committed. First is the frauds against public treasury. So para sa kalaman ng lahat, ang public treasury, this is the place where the government funds are kept or deposited. Meron siyang apat na elements. One, that the offender be a public officer. So alam naman na siguro natin yung public officer. This is a person being elected or appointed for a public function or performing public duties under the government or any branches to the government as a employees or official subordinate. Second, that he should have taken advantage of his office, that is, he intervened in the transaction of his official capacity. Meaning lang ng number 2 elements, that this public officer is use his position of authority or power to defraud the government for his personal gain. Number 3 naman, that he entered into an agreement with any interested party or speculator or made use of any other scheme with regard to number 1, furnishing supplies, number 2, the making of contracts, and number 3, the adjustment or settlement of accounts relating to public property or funds. So sa number 1, the illegal furnishing supplies. Example dito, for example, yung isang regional director, nag-request siya na sa government na kailangan niya ng 10 computers sa kanyang office. So ngayon yung government, binigyan yung isang regional director ng siguro 200,000 pesos. Siyempre, yung 200,000 pesos na yun, kailangan niyang ibili lahat yun ng laptop para sa office niya. Pero yung ginawa niya, parang pumunta siya sa isang company na nagbumili ng laptop na nagkakahalaga lang ng 150,000 pesos. So siyempre yung resibo kailangan niyang ibigay yun sa government. Parang yung suppliers, kinumbinsi niya yung suppliers na i-manipulate niya yung resibo at gawin 200,000 pesos. So parang kung i-imagine natin yung example,
Para na-fake
pineki na yung resibo to defraud the government. So yung 50,000 pesos na yun, sa kanya na yun, hindi na niya binalik. Sa making of contracts naman, one of the example of this one is yung mayor na may projects na example public or road projects. Tapos yung mayor na ito, siyempre magkakaroon ng bago yung projects, magkakaroon ng bidding process or contracts ng mga company. Magkakaroon sila ng mga requirements kung sino yung gagawa sa projects na yun. Ngayon, itong mayors na ito, parang may kakilala siya or parang relatives niya na may-ari ng company ng constructions. So ang ginawa niya ngayon, parang hindi niya na pinalo yung legal bidding process. Parang nag-provide na siya agad ng company which is yung kampanya ng relatives niya. Number 3, the adjustment or settlement of accounts relating to public property of funds. Example naman dito, yung parang may tinatawag na ghost employees. So, example na lang sa munisipyo. So, these ghost employees, from the term ghost, they are not exist, but they are receiving a payroll to the government. So, parang naka-indicate na yung mga employers na to, kahit yung mga name, na nakaka-receive sila ng salary kahit wala naman talagang employees na nag-exist. So, dinedeport lang nila yung government para makakuha ng payroll na ginagamit nila sa pansarili nila. And syempre naman yung number 4 elements that the accused had intent to defraud the government. Take note na without the intention or without the public officer's intention in committing these elements, hindi siya magiging liable sa Article 213. Next naman na crime is illegal exaction. That the offender is a public officer entrusted with the collection of taxes, licenses, fees, and other imposts. And he is guilty of any of the following acts or omissions. Number 1, demanding indirectly or directly the payment of sums different from or larger than those authorized by law. For example, sa PSA, siyempre pag magre-request ka ng birth certificate, magbabayad ka muna ng 150 pesos. Pero yung cashier, parang yung pinagbayad niya sa'yo is more than sa 150 pesos. Let's say, 200 pesos. So, parang tinataas na yung babayaran mo na dapat naka-employ sana. Or babayaran mo sana na naka-employ sa law. Number 2, clearing voluntarily to issue a receipt as provided by law for any sum money collected by him officially. Meaning naman dito sa panulit sa PSA example, hindi ka nila, after mo magbayad, hindi ka nila binigyan ng receipt. So violation yun under 213. At letter C, collecting or receiving directly or indirectly by way of payment or otherwise things or objects of a nature different from that provided by law. Sa PSA ulit. So, halimbawa, magbabayad ka sana ng 150 pesos. Pero yung sinabi ng cashier, huwag mo nang ibayad yung pera. Gusto ko yung yung relo mo, sabi niya. Regardless kung mas mababa yung price ng relo or mas mataas, kailangan pa rin na yung ibabayad mo is pera, hindi objects or things. Next, let us proceed to Article 215 or the prohibited transactions. There are 4 elements that the offender is an appointed public officer. Unlike to the Article 213, limited lang siya sa appointed public officer. So, hindi siya pwede sa president, mayors, kundi mga appointed lang. Like yung secretary of DSWD, regional directors, and so on. And that he becomes interested directly or indirectly in any transaction of exchange or speculations, and the transaction take place within the territory subject to his jurisdiction. Then he becomes interested in the transaction during his incumbency. For example, yung judge, nagkaroon siya ng kaso na parang si Pedro na lang. Si Pedro, kinasuhan niya si Juan dahil hindi siya nakabayad ng utang. Tapos, itong si Juan, nakulong siya kasi nga wala siyang pambayad or mahirap siya. Ngayon naman, itong si Judge, parang nagbigay siya ng orders na kunin na lang yung lupain ng itong si Juan para parang ibigay or ilako na. Tapos ibabayad ito ni Juan as pangbayad sa hindi niya nabayaran na utang kay Pedro. So kung titignan natin dito, parang illegal yung ginawa ng judge under 215. Sa 216 naman, possession of prohibited interest by a public officer. So dito na pwede na siyang maging elected or appointed officer. experts or arbitrators, and private accountants who, in like manner, took part in any contract or transaction connected with the estate or property in the appraisal, distribution, or adjudication in which they had acted. Guardians and executors with respect to the property belonging to their wards or the estate. For example, yung isang mayors ulit, parang may gagawin ulit na project sa kanilang place or municipality. Tapos itong mayors na ito, instead na kumuha ng mga materialis sa ibang company, parang ang ginawa niya, kasi nga meron siyang pagmamayari mismo na pagkukuhanan ng mga materials sa projects na gagawin, hindi na siya dumaan sa legal bidding process, kundi yung owned na company niya na yung ginamit niya. Ito, parang example nito, parang siya na mismo yung nag-bid ng mga ibabayad sa kanya.
So next, let's proceed to chapter 4 of this lesson, or the last chapter of this lesson, which is the malversation of public funds or property. This chapter will cover the crimes against the public treasury. Malversation means the misappropriation, misusing of public funds or property through negligence or abandonment of duty for personal gain. For example, yung sa public funds, yung dapat na funds for the victims of a typhoon, ginamit niya para ibigay sa mga tao during election. Parang ganun po yung example ng malversation. So, let's proceed to the Article 218 of Chapter 4, which is the failure of an accountable officer to render accounts to COA. So, dito po is the offender must be a public officer, whether in service or separated. Separated means nag-resign po yung public officer. Dapat, dito po yung public officer, yung dapat na gawin kapag nag-resign siya is i-render yung mga accounts na nalalaman niya sa kanyang office. For example, alam niya yung FB account ng kanyang office. Dapat kapag nag-resign siya, ibabalik niya na yung account ng kanyang office. Pero kapag hindi niya ito binalik within 2 months, makakasuhan po siya ng Article 218 or failure of unaccountable officer to render accounts to Commission on Audits. Next is the Article 219 or the failure of a responsible officer to render an account before leaving the country. Dito po is the offender must always be a public officer. Next, that he must be an accountable officer for public funds or property. For example, siya ay cashier. Pumunta siya sa ibang bansa, example sa Hong Kong. Pero hindi siya nakapag-render lahat ng accounts niya as a cashier. May connection pa siya. For example, alam niya yung password ng vault, hindi niya binigay. Parang tas ng ibang bansa siya. Kapag hindi niya ito insubli within 2 months, bawal na po yun. Pero kapag insubli na within 1 month and 29 days, pwede pa yun. Next is the Article 220 or the illegal use of public funds. Yung elements niya po nito is consist of 4. The first one is always be the public office. The offender must be a public officer. Next, that there is a public fund or property under his administration. May hawak po siyang public funds, hindi po yung property has been appropriated by law or an ordinance. And lastly, that he applies the same to a public use other than that for which such fund or property has been appropriated by law or ordinance. For example, yung public fund na dapat sana sa mga nasalanta ng bagyo, inusar na, di ba, nga campaignan, inusar na adi nga kwarta, tano ited na yan kita tao, tano ang vote buying.
Ayun.
Pero dito'y, di ba, kung na yan di criminal law, kapag the duty na is during, for example, nangurak iso na during his duty, siya ay absuelto sa kaso. Pero kapag during his commercial duty, hindi siya absuelto sa kaso. Di ba yan? Lastly, the Article 221 or the failure to make delivery of public funds or property. So there are two, may dalawa pong kinds ito or nagudwa dato into two kung ano yung crime under this article. The first one is by failing to make payment by a public officer who is under obligation to make such payment from government funds in his position, and B, refusing to make delivery by a public officer who has been ordered by competent authority to deliver any property in his custody or his administration. So for example dito, yung public funds na para sana sa mga nasalanta ng bagyo, hindi niya yun ginamit. The elements of this article is number 1, that the offender is a public officer who has government funds in his possession. Dapat, pero kapag yung funds na nasa kanya is galing sa kanya, hindi po ito, siya po ay absuelto sa kaso. Pero kapag galing po sa kaban ng bayan, absuelto. Next, number 2 elements, that he is under obligation to make payment from such funds. Number 3 is that he fails to make payment maliciously. Maliciously is with deliberate intent. To summarize our discussion, a public officer or officials are appointed or elected by government. Yung sa chapter 2, yung malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance, parang general words po siya ng chapter 3 to chapter 4. Parang sa malfeasance, sinasakupan po niya dito yung
Nice.
wait.
Nabasan?
Yung sa malfeasance is the improper performance of lawful act. In malfeasance, the performing of an act that should not be done, and the nonfeasance is the neglect of duty.
Yun. Okay, sa pagka.
Kung tatanungin nyo kung bakit importante nating matakal ito, this is important for us to be aware that there are still crimes for our public officials na pwede po natin ikaso sa kanila if makita po natin or nakita or nasaksihan po natin na nagko-commit po sila ng crime. Next,
Nice.
to uphold ethical standards for good governance, and to encourage integrity in public service to protect our public resources, property, and ensure fairness for everyone and strengthens democratic institutions.
Nice.
We indicated references in slide 15 of our presentation na nai-send namin kanina.
Wala naman.
Thank you.
Ay, meron.
Any question?
None.
Awan.
Yes. Bayan Boss, yung PowerPoint tayo, boss.
May send kayo ni Mamatoy. Come on. Wait lang, boss.
Ba't adan? Ba't adan?